Hi, welcome back to Homespun in Wales and to part 2 of this week's update. Now we're down the cabin so I can finish off telling you everything that's going on. First off, I want to share with you the project that Mandy and me were doing, and let's see if I can put the camera down just a bit. Right, no. Right, and this is it. This is for us to take to retreats. We've both made our own ones, and it's got handles, as you can see. It's quite tall. I haven't finished fixing my handles on yet. It's got a big pocket in the back to put rulers, etc. And it's got a zip all the way around the front. So let me open it up and I'll show you. So here we go. It is a storage unit. So we can put everything in it that we need to take with us to a sewing retreat. Our threads, scissors, tools, bobbins, anything that we need can all go in here, and the whole thing can get zipped up and be carried around and transported safely. So this is what we were making. I quite like this fabric, so I did this. Mandy picked a quilting themed fabric for hers, and it's all fully lined. There was the option of putting pockets on as well on the inside, but I thought with the drawers that we've got, I decided not to. So yes, so quite pleased with those, and that is what we did while Mandy was down. So we had to do all our own measuring and cutting out, etc. And I used some matching webbing for my handles. I'm going to rivet them onto the side here to keep them in place, and that will be it. So that is my retreat sewing storage unit. So it's everything that I need can go with me. Stabilizers, everything can go in there. There's room down the side for more acrylic templates and that. Yeah, so I was quite pleased with that. Right, I want to tilt you down a bit. Hang on a sec while I fiddle. That'll do. Right. You can see I haven't got my embroidery machine here. It's sitting over there in a case. I haven't unpacked it from when I went to the embroidery meeting last week. Now, I'd mentioned in my video last month that I was trying to work through my Mrs. Quilty boxes, and I was doing the quilt blocks. So I got that one finished, which I'm quite happy with, and I've got that one finished. I think I'm going to go that way up, which again I'm happy with. So that's 2 of the blocks done. Now, I had mentioned previously, when I went with Mandy to the Welsh Quilt Festival, I bought a quilt kit, and it was from Fine French Linen, and I bought that one. So last week I got stuck into cutting out all of my bits of fabric. I needed 20 of those, 99 of this size, and 66 of the smaller ones. So they're now all ready to go together. And I'm hoping sort of over the next week or so to start putting it all together, and then I will either order the backing from her online, or we might go to the quilt festival end of July, beginning of August, and then I can buy a backing. Haven't decided yet. There's the binding as well. I haven't cut that one out yet, so I'm looking forward to getting started on that. Now, just a finish off update on last month's box. In last month's box there was, let me just grab it a second. Right, in last month's box there was the knitting that had to be unwound and balled up, so of course I did that. The other thing, of course, was there was a teddy bear, all the bits there to make a pair of teddy bears, loving bears, from Jay's First Fabric, that had been gifted to me many years ago. Minimal instructions. So while Mandy was here and Mandy was finishing off her storage unit, I decided to do the teddy bears. I've done the first one, and it has got to be the ugliest bear I have ever seen in my life, and I haven't even bothered with the second one. This is it. Yeah, poor blessed little heart. He is the ugliest bear ever out there, and he's got these little stumpy legs. The camera's having a bit of a fit there. He's got these little stumpy legs. Now the idea is that you made two of them and you velcroed them together so they were hugging, but look at that face. So I never bothered making the second one. I haven't even sewn up his bottom yet. He's got quite a big bottom. I've kept it to show you. I think it'll end up as a dog toy. And yeah, the second one, all I did was all the bits of fabric, the fur fabric, I put in my scrapbox, and I have chucked out the pattern pieces and the little instructions that came with it. And I had no intentions of ever making one of those again. So that was that. Now the quilt, that the blocks had been started and it was never finished, so it was all these embroidered blocks. You can see the colour better actually down here of that second one. It's like a silvery bluey grey. Now I brought it down here with the intention of, this is of course where I was sitting quilt, and of course I've got all the blocks cut out, but with having Mandy down I never got round to it, and my embroidery machine, I'd taken the arm off to use for making up my storage unit, to use it just as a sewing machine. And then of course I went off to the machine embroidery thing last week, and yeah, so I've hold my hands up, haven't got around to doing it, and so it's sitting here, and I do intend, maybe not this week, maybe next week I'll get it done. Right, what else is going on? This Saturday I've got another craft fair, and I'm really not looking forward to it. My heart just isn't in it. Now I have made a conscientious decision now. I'm going to give up the craft fairs. I've got this one this Saturday, then I've got two more later on this year, I think one in September I think there's one in November, and then that'll be it. I am not booking in to any more craft fairs, and I've actually decided I don't want to make things to sell. So I've taken my website down, and I'm going to be taking down my social media page associated with all the craft fairs and making things to sell and that. And I've just decided I don't want to go down that route anymore. You know, I am officially retired now, and I just want to enjoy making things for myself and for gifts. Next year, of course, like I keep saying, we are looking to put the farm on the market, which will be there'll be a lot of upheaval next year, and our plan is that we sell here. Everything is going to go into storage, and we're going to buy a motorhome and live in a motorhome for a few months while we find another house. We don't want to be rushing into buying something and then regretting it. It has to be the right place for us. So we're quite happy to live in a motorhome. It'll just be us and the dog. And everything will go into storage. So, of course, it means the whole of the cabin has to be packed up, and it'll all just go into boxes. There's a lot I'm going to, probably get rid of. I have been decluttering in the house. I intend to keep out my, maybe not my big embroidery machine, but maybe my smaller one. I don't know yet, or just a sewing machine. And yeah, so I've lost my enthusiasm for making things for other people, and I've lost I lost my enthusiasm for doing the teaching. I don't want to do the teaching anymore. I don't mind showing the odd person the odd thing to do, but I really don't want to go down the route of teaching, making things to sell, running websites and all of that. I just don't want to do it. I want to do more dressmaking. I want to do more. I want to spend my time doing more of what I enjoy doing, which is, making quilts for the family, making toys for my grandchildren, great-grandchildren, all of that. So there's a lot of stuff in here as I sort of look around, and I think I'm not going to be using it anymore, so it will be time to move it on. And yeah, when you're making for other people, or you're making for craft fairs, it is very much you're doing a lot of repetitive stuff, and I always find making the repetitive stuff quite difficult, and it becomes, to me, it becomes a chore and no longer enjoyable. So I'm going to keep my embroidery machine, I'm going to keep my industrial machine, I'm going to keep my quilting machine, because I'm still going to be doing them things. All the craft fair displays after this year will be sold and got rid of because I won't need them. And that's it. It will be end of an era. What am I going to do with the stock that's left? I think I'll just end up giving it as raffle prizes and, Secret Santas and all that type of thing. Yeah, it'll just all end up being given away. So yeah, it's just not been an easy decision to, well, I say it's not been easy, it's not been a hard decision to make because my heart isn't in it anymore. Yeah, so that's it really. because I've still got this 3 craft fairs to get through, and I do have enough stock for them, and I will have to make bits and pieces to keep that stock topped up. It wouldn't be fair on the organisers if I'm just turning up with a load of last minute tat, you know, that hasn't sold at any other fairs and so forth. I think because we're hoping to move next year. Well, the place will be gone on the market next year. So, but we're hoping to sell next year as well. And I know I won't be able to deal with craft fairs doing that. And we're going to be moving to a new area. And I won't know the craft fair setups there. Next year I'm 67 this year. I'll be coming up to 68 next year. We want to spend time going off travelling. I don't want to commit to fairs and events and all of that. When you know, we want to spend time doing things that we want. So that'll be it. And yeah, like I say, just, you know, you can't do everything. Well, how I hope my retirement will be, I want to be able to get up in the morning and sit there with a cup of tea and maybe do a bit of sewing or a bit of spinning, with no pressure, no sort of thinking I've got to get things listed up for sale, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I don't want that pressure anymore. Yeah, so I don't know if it's just me or whether other people sort of get like that. And so things like making the quilt for our bedroom is important to me. I want to make quilts for my children. I have got a quilt in progress for my daughter. I've got a quilt I made my son many years ago, and that has been returned to me. That needs a repair. I need to get that done. That's his quilt. I've got a quilt to make for my other grandson. So, and I just want the time to be able to do those things on my own terms and not sort of think, oh, I've got a craft fair coming up, stop what I'm doing, I've got to concentrate on making things for that. Taking the website down, I haven't promoted the website really. I've just been paying for it each month, and I've just made the decision to cancel it, and that was it. Cancel, gone, stop. Yeah, it's going to be new beginnings. I've got a lot of stock, a lot of stash in here, an awful lot, and it's time it was whittled out and gone. Like all the bag making stuff, I don't make bags anymore. I've got nobody to make bags for, and really if I wanted to make a bag I can just buy in the bits I need. I've got dressmaking fabrics here or clothing fabrics, and they've all just been sitting and nothing's getting done with them because there's never any time to do it. I've got tons of jewellery making stuff. I don't wear jewellery, so I could really do with just putting that up as a one job lot or whatever. Although there is quite a few boxes of beads, big boxes of beads. There's lots of card making stuff I haven't got time for anymore. There's the things I want to do is I want to concentrate on the dressmaking. I want to concentrate on the quilting and making things for our home. I want to have time to do spinning. I've still got my knitting machine, and I've got, you can't see it, but all my yarn up there. It's loads and loads of yarn. and that's about 3 deep up there. And I've got a whole bookcase full of machine knitting patterns. So I want to be able to do that. I want to do more textile work, free motion embroidery, and doing eco dyeing and all of them. I've bought all the bits to do it, but I just never had the time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making time to do the things I want to do. I'm going to carry on with the boxes this year. And as you know, as I've been emptying a box, I've been putting in it the Fabazine issue. So next year there is Fabazine issues there that I can work through. And I'm not buying in any more kits or anything like that, not unless it's something like a quilting kit, of course, but embroidery kits and cross stitch kits, I've got enough stuff of my own to use. The cross stitch I've been doing, which I showed you last time, which I've been sitting doing in the evenings, that was a free pattern. I already had the floss, and I've got a box of Ada and everything, so I dug a piece out of that. So if I want to do cross stitch, I've got to use what's there. I've got bookcases. Well, I've got 3 big bookcases full of craft books, and I would like to be able to at least make something from each of the books. I've got all the aqua quilt dies, a big one, all of them, a big collection of dies, and the cutters, and I've never made a quilt with them. I've got a raggy quilt that I cut. In fact, it's just sitting here. This was all cut out of all the scrap pieces of fleece that I had, and it was using one of the raggy dies, and it's all been cut out, and I'm starting to put them together. Just stitching 2 together like that. And I started stitching them together, but these I've done in strips. Don't quite know what I'm doing there. I think I'll have to unpick them and put them, start stitching them together to make them double thickness. That's what I've got to start doing. But there's a whole box, all cut out, all ready to go. And it was when I was having a sort out of my cabin, and I just pulled out all the scrap fleece and started cutting out all the squares. So yeah, so that could do with getting finished off, and it would just be a blanket somewhere. I don't really show you a lot of what's here in the cabin because there is just so much. Bits of fluff on me now. Yeah, there is just so much in here. Too much, in fact. So, and in fact, let me just show you a bit around before I wind up the video. Right, it seems I've got to wind up the video because my phone has just come up saying that the storage is full. So I'll have to show you around my cabin another time. So I'm going to wind up the video here and get it all uploaded. So there's part 1 and part 2 to this video. And next week I will try and show you some of what's in the cabin, what's coming out of the cabin, and what I'm doing in here. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll catch up again with you soon.